Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, recession is coming, and this is the perfect time to be loading up on Bitcoin. And why do I say that? Well, let's talk about what is being talked about today and what we have to look forward to. So, good morning. Welcome to another Market Open stream. And there's the market bell. Still working. Best bell in the industry. Let me change my screen here. Today, again, mixed day. But we are getting a lot of earnings that are not good. Just a few days ago, yes, we got Tesla earnings, absolutely horrible. But what about everything else besides cars? Well, look at this. Whole Foods plans on laying several hundred corporate employees, right? So that's not good. But then you got Procter & Gamble beats earnings, right? So, I mean, it's kind of mixed. I guess it depends on the industry. Some banks are doing really good. Some banks, of course, not, right? But economic data is showing that we are coming down. The economy is softening, and that's exactly what Powell wants. Fed Chair Powell wants to beat inflation by raising rates and softening the economy, right? But the thing is, there are some industries that are hurting badly right now. So even though there are some that are doing well, others are not doing so well. That's why a lot of people, again, is now thinking that a recession is coming. You could argue that recession is already here. Okay, according to technical definition, 2 straight quarters of GDP drops. That means we're in a recession, but somehow the terminology changed. So I don't know what it really means to be in recession other than things are just going to get worse. That's really it. I don't know what the new definition for recession is because we're already in a recession. But I guess we're going to go deeper into recession, right? As the Fed continues to think about raising rates. So I thought this was a done deal. Okay, there's no more rates. But now there's like talks that they will continue to raise rates, which will, of course, push everything further down, right? And that is why a lot of strategists, analysts, a lot of people predicting that, yeah, we're going to go in a deeper recession. And it's not going to be good for markets once again. So the bounce that we saw earlier this year, including Bitcoin, may be short-lived. But here's the thing. If you think about it, let's say we do go into deep recession and everyone's struggling and unemployment starts skyrocketing and people out of jobs, homes, and they can no longer pay for things. How will the Fed then save the economy? Well, the only ammunition they have is to start cutting rates. Well, no, there's 2 things. Cut rates or print more money and hand it out. That's their playbook, right? So it's like that. People are also anticipating that, yes, we will go into recession, but we will also be saved by the Fed right afterwards. Saved with more money printing. That's why inflation continues to be a worry. That's why we have high inflation. That's why we always have inflation. And why keeping a lot of cash on hand sucks. Because inflation just robs you of your buying power. So even though you may have $100,000 in your bank account from 30 years ago, and it's still at $100,000 and you think you're a genius, what you could buy with that $100,000 now versus 30 years ago, very different. Very, very different, right? So that is what inflation is, silent tax. And whenever our governments, our central banks print more money, it adds to that. It dilutes what exists and it keeps inflating it. And that's why you need to hold on assets that benefit from that. Cash does not, right? And I find this really funny that now there's a new bill that will let the U.S. Mint alter the metal contents of coins to save money. So I don't know exactly how much this is going to save. But I'll tell you this is not going to counter the trillions that will be printed in the future, okay? This may save $1 billion or $2 billion or whatever it is, but it's not going to counteract the trillions that have been printed and trillions more that will be printed each and every year. So that's why I find stuff like this really funny. If you want to save money and you want to stop inflation, well, simply stop overspending. If the government stops overspending and there's no need to print more money, okay, then that's the ultimate way to curb inflation, right? But that's not in the playbook. The playbook is to, right now, raise rates, get everyone poor, and then cut rates, and then hopefully make everyone rich again. I mean, that's basically what they've been doing since the beginning of time, since the Federal Reserve was created like over 100 years ago. But going back to my point, this is not going to help with inflation. Okay, this is not going to help inflation at all. What you can do to help yourself is to hold on Bitcoin, right? Hold on Bitcoin. Load up on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the true path to financial freedom and life-changing wealth, because it can't be inflated, can't be controlled. Governments try to figure out, but they can't do it. They can't control Bitcoin. There's no centralized person or company or entity. It's not even controlled by any country. That's what makes Bitcoin different than every other fiat on the planet. It's totally decentralized, not governed by any individual, and you can't just say, I want to print 1 trillion more Bitcoin. You can't do it. No one could, right? That's why it's different, and that's why more and more people are loading up on Bitcoin, because it's the best store of value that we have today. The ultimate store of value and the ultimate network, right? It's really that simple. Now, a lot of people are thinking that Bitcoin will continue on, right? Even though we had a little bit of weakness this week, and we got more Fed fears, inflation fears, and there's also a little bit more fears about tension between the U.S. and China, right? Supposedly China's going to conduct intensive military drills. Is it going to lead to another war? Hopefully not. I don't think so. But there is some tension. So this is also causing some short-term fears, right? But again, Bitcoin is not deterred. Bitcoin will continue forward. Bitcoin does not see the news, does not see the latest FUD, okay? Bitcoin will continue on, and so will everyone else in the space. Bitcoin mining difficulty skyrockets. Why do you think it's skyrocketing? Because the miners, they're not going away. In fact, the miners are getting help now, because look at this. Texas bill will boost accountability. Oh, no, I thought this was an article about mining, but there's a lot of states recently, including Texas, Arkansas, New Jersey, that makes it a law. They made it a law that you have a right to be mining Bitcoin, right? So that's in the U.S., but across the world, everyone else, all the Bitcoin farmers, the miners, continue to increase their hash rate because they know this is the way. Why would you ever stop mining Bitcoin? It's so scarce and only getting scarcer. This is the time to be mining as much as you can, because later on, it'll be infinitely harder to find Bitcoins. Okay, so they're not going away. And then I already showed you guys this. Texas is being they're kind of leading the way, pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto. Boost accountability of crypto exchanges, right? But, Bitcoin is being adopted, not just Bitcoin, crypto is being adopted worldwide, not just in the U.S., worldwide. We are hearing that more and more, and it's not going to stop. Now, as for short-term price movement and stock money, I got to give Stock Money Lizards, I got to give him props for this, because he showed a chart like this days ago. And I'm like, it may happen, it may not happen, but it did happen. He was predicting that Bitcoin was going to fall to previous levels, like where we are right now, before it starts bouncing up. And he said this days ago before, when Bitcoin was still at 30,000, right? So he saw the pattern. He saw how it's very similar to last month when we had that pretty solid support, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin broke, and it turned out to be a giant fake out, right? Like a whale fake out that made many people think that we were going to go under, and then boom, not only did we recover, but we went and formed a new high. Are we seeing the same thing happen right now? Quite possibly. Like I said, Bitcoin doesn't care, it doesn't read the news, doesn't know about FUD. Bitcoin continues on because people that are holding on Bitcoin, right, or mining Bitcoin, or trading Bitcoin, they're not leaving. So this could be what's happening. If you look at the bottom, Bitcoin, right, it's retesting that neckline, and it could continue forward. Interesting enough, you look at on top S&P 500, right, back in the day, did something similar. Did something similar. So there's a lot of patterns, right? You know that there are a lot of whales and institutions that like to manipulate the market. It's hard to tell sometimes, but sometimes when you see these kind of patterns and how they're so similar, you know, it makes you wonder if this was the plan all along, right? But long term, this is what we have to look forward to. Every single cycle, Bitcoin forms a new high, also forms a new low, a higher low, I should say, right? Even though you have periods where it's very scary and it sucks. Okay, look at after number 1, and then after number 2, and after 3, after 4, right? We have long extended periods where it sucks. It's called crypto winter. We're out of crypto winter. We're starting the new bull cycle. I've been saying that. We're starting a new bull cycle, and volatility within each month, barely noticeable, right? When you're looking at it from a year's perspective. So this is what we have to look forward to as we move forward. Very nice. Very nice. Where will Bitcoin top out? 200,000, 250,000, 300,000. Who knows? Anyone's guess at this point. So stay strong, my friends. Stay strong. Sometimes a little scary. Sometimes it's not, right? But Bitcoin is holding strong. Let's not forget that even though it's not at 30,000, it's at the same point 2 weeks ago, right? We have just lost a little bit. There's no doubt that Bitcoin will recover and form a new high. Could be as soon as this weekend. So let's see what happens. All right. That is pretty much it. Let's see. The market is still kind of mixed right now. So we'll see where the market goes today. All right. Let's do some Q&A. All right. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Tonight's very exciting. I have never introduced a new host on this show, ever, and I will be tonight. So, and it's going to be a good show. I'm bringing Aaron, who I've worked with for a little bit now. You know, he has some good stuff to say about Arbitrum, so that will debut tonight. Normally, I don't have a video Friday nights, right? So I wanted to fill that gap and also bring you guys more good info about DeFi. Aaron is very experienced with DeFi, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Love to hear your feedback afterwards. And then tomorrow, we'll be debuting a new show at night called FOMO or Pass, and that one is pretty exciting too. So got a lot of good stuff happening. New things happening on this channel that I believe you guys will like. All right, let's see. Good morning, Alex. Governments cannot stop spending. This is how endless term politicians stay in office. I think you're right about that. The rich gets richer by owning assets, not money. That is right. That is right. Investors, look at this headline. Investors cut cash holdings as market focus shifts to inflation. You know, inflation helps when you have assets, right? If you're holding on real estate, you're holding on Bitcoin. When you're holding on priceless art, okay, or priceless NFTs, inflation's help by raising the price of them, right? So it's awesome to hold assets. It sucks when you're holding on cash, because when you're holding on cash, inflation does not help cash. Just think about it. Inflation does not help cash because price of goods and services and assets go up because inflation. Cash stays the same. So that's why you want to invest in assets, things that appreciate. And of course, you want things that appreciate faster than inflation does. That's how you win. That's how the rich get richer. I mean, that's really it. You got to buy assets rather than buy things that don't appreciate. You know, buying the latest PS5 is not going to help you with inflation, okay? Eating out, you know, twice a day, every day is not going to help with inflation. Those things will not help. But, you know, saving up and buying a Bitcoin, that will help with inflation. Saving up and buying a rental property, you know, that will help with inflation. But holding on cash is the worst thing to do when there's high inflation. All right. Jam Epic. How do project find out details of applying to be on your show? I'm a volunteer for Fair Launch Crypto. So best of luck, by the way. We did record the first one. So the second one, let's go same thing. On my Twitter, I'm going to post out, hey, we're looking for new applicants. I'm going to do that every Monday. But starting from next week, I will have a form that projects have to apply. It kind of sucked for the first one because a lot of people were volunteering projects that had no clue they were being volunteered. And so when I wanted to contact them, they didn't answer or they didn't have their DMs open. So this time around, we need projects to actually apply. That way we can get a hold of them when we want to, hear their pitch and get them on the show, right? So Jam, hopefully, just stay tuned. Every Monday, I'm going to be making a new post. So if you want to apply, make sure you do so. Will we see, NMCT, will we see money flow to Bitcoin from profits made by meme coins this year like we previously did in 2021? I don't know about that. Sure, maybe some of it. I don't know if meme coin, degens are really going to put that money into Bitcoin. Maybe a small portion, but I would say a large portion will not. And I don't think that happened in 2021 either. I mean, it's a lot of meme coins like Sheeb just like skyrocketed, and that money never went into Bitcoin. Cassie Paz, what a name. Thank you for that. Full more Pass will be on this channel, in case people are wondering. It's just another segment. If Coinbase moves to Bermuda, will we still be able to use? I don't think they're moving just yet. They might open an exchange there. But as for your question, no one knows. If they move out of the U.S., can you still use them in the U.S.? Probably not, I would say. If they officially move out of the U.S., you'll probably not be able to use them. But I don't think we're anywhere close to that yet. Thoughts on BCH? Get rid of it fast. BCH is garbage. Why would you hold BCH when you go hold Bitcoin? Great, you're not supposed to be sharing who's on the show, but I guess it's not a hidden secret. But there is one part that you may be surprised by. You threw some shade at a company or a project you like. How's Solana? You tell me, how's Solana? What do you think about Solana? If you're asking if they're a good project to hold, sure, but I think there's better projects to hold. I think they will eventually get back to their all-time high, but it may take longer than others. Will Arbitrum ever reach $5? Sure, it could happen. It's already $1 something, almost $2. Can it reach $5? Yeah, in the next bull run, very, very easy. Tesla is getting hammered. Is it still getting hammered? Yesterday it was down 10%. Oh no, it's not down today. But they did get hammered. I don't know. I think Tesla's still fine. It's just that people are expecting them to have the same kind of growth year after year after year after year, and it's just impossible to maintain that kind of growth, especially during a recession. There's a video on the internet with Gary saying Ethereum is not a security. Yes, he said that before. This is the reason why I think he didn't say it in front of the House the other day. You know, he was hammered on saying whether Ethereum is a security or not. And he refused to say because I bet he knew that they were going to play the clip where he specifically declared it was not a security. So, you know, he kind of got himself in a mess. And that's why he refuses to answer. T-Sports, I don't have any opinion on Radix. When is Gina scheduled to host? You know, funny enough, I have tried to reach her on Twitter. She has not gotten back to me. XYO coin? Not really. XYO. They're L1. But wait, is there a L1 or a Oracle? I may be thinking of something else. Reality Oracle. Did they rebrand themselves? I thought this was a project that was really based on locations. Location-based L1. I don't know what this means. Improves the certainty and trust for data, ensures people right. Okay, we're building technology. I don't know what that means. The first Reality Oracle. Maybe it is the same project and they just rebranded, but don't know too much about them. Well, that's not good. They're still like over 90% down and have no traction at all. So that's not a good sign. Volume is dirt low too. Did I hear about the first real estate in crypto and Coinbase? Yes, but you said that very wrong. I covered that yesterday already. Yes, this is a company that allows you to buy real estate with Bitcoin. That's exciting in conjunction with Coinbase, right? So you could only do it in Texas. Basically, Texas is trying to lead the way. Texas is enabling Bitcoin and crypto to thrive in the U.S., except with exchanges, because it's pretty hard to get for exchanges to operate in Texas. Is there a less exciting coin that can data? Pat, you know what's funny? I have a contact with a wallet maker within Cadena. He has close ties with the leadership, so I'm actually looking for an introduction. I like to talk to them and see what their plans are. I think a lot of these chains that don't do well is they can't get enough dApps aboard, right? You need liquidity pools. You need liquidity. You need staking. You need swaps. You need DEXs. You need things that get people excited and use it, and not only use it, but also keep their coins within, right? And I find Cadena is lacking in that department heavily. So, right now I'm talking to a lot of projects behind the scenes, trying to introduce them to each other. I'm trying to do that with Cadena, but also I'm trying to do that with VeChain too. A lot of people think I've given up VeChain. I have not. VeChain is such a giant powerhouse, yet they have no DEXs, no liquidity pools, no bridges. NFT market is dying. All the consumer-based stuff doesn't exist on VeChain. I love to help them do that, love to connect the projects for them to do that, but they need to come out with some grants. They need to boost their ecosystem, and then VeChain will be a top 10 chain in the future. But right now, they're not doing any of that. So I have contact with Sonny Liu. I'm trying to get a hold of him. I'm trying to talk with him, but, trying to do that for a lot of chains that I've supported and I believe in, Cadena and VeChain. I think they could both benefit from that. Flare Airborne, I'm not actually super bullish on Cardano. I recognize they're a powerhouse, but I'm not super bullish on them like you implied. How would you compare BTC to ETH and contrast? Seems like ETH is far more volatile, doesn't follow the same trends. No, it does. ETH was kind of, it decoupled from Bitcoin in a way, and that was not a good thing. It was actually it was losing strength against Bitcoin because everyone was so worried about the Shanghai upgrade and the unstaking. Now that it's done, right, it's fine. ETH dominance actually went up right afterwards. So they're still moving in tandem. Bitcoin is leading the way, no doubt, but Ethereum is about, close to 50% of Bitcoin. So it's big and it takes a lot of money to move it. But I think they're still kind of moving in tandem. But Bitcoin has shown more strength so far in 2023. Barrick, search for massive wallet draining operation. That just sounds like a really weird thing. I'll look into it, but yeah, that sounds like something's not right. Top 3 new coins are about to go public and where to buy first. Your thoughts, Ryan? No. First of all, no, I'm not going to tell you who they are. And second of all, no, I'm not going to tell you where to buy. Thoughts on Filecoin? I've never been bullish on Filecoin. I think they're promising. Leaders of decentralized storage. Maybe when they become a L1 themselves and get some dApps, they could do greater things, but I like Arweave much better. Zilliqa has been around since 2017. I covered them. You know, they've gone through some changes. Now they're like EVM compatible. They got a bit more popular because of their metaverse, which I don't know what the progress is, whether or not that's anywhere close to completion, but they've been hanging around. They're the very first sharded chain. But, you know, the way they do things, the transactions, the theoretical transaction output is lower than many of the other modern chains. And their whole leadership team from before, they're C-level guys. They all left. So now it's being run by some of the community developers and leaders. They have been promoted. So I got really turned off by that. Like, the guys who created Zilliqa all left the project. That's how bad it was. So that's why I say they've gone through some controversy. But they're still around. They're still in the top 100. I don't keep a close eye on them, but where are they? Yeah, 87. The fact that they're still in the top 100 is impressive. So we'll just leave it at that. Genesis Go, DEX storage on Solana. Chris, if you want storage on Solana, go with Arweave. Arweave is the official storage provider for Solana. Genesis Go. Yeah, there's not even, the volume is like nothing. So I'm going to say no to that. I'll just say this. You don't always have to look for some micro play, okay, which is what that Genesis Go is. Arweave is the official storage provider for Solana. And they are, right now, only 262 million. Can they do a 10x to 2 billion? Yes. Right? That's very easy. And this is a sure thing. Arweave has been around for a long time. I actually invested in Arweave's ICO back in the day. One of my only few investments that actually did well. But they're they're a powerhouse in the decentralized storage space. This is not gambling anymore, right? Like Genesis Go, if you're trying to get into that, it's like gambling into a microcap that you hope could do 100x. Or it could just go to zero. So I would say if you want a storage play for Solana, go with Arweave. Joshua, appreciate it. Spread the word in Philippines for me. Do I still like Alchemy Pay? Yeah. What about Quant? No. Quant is pure B2B play, so no. Harmony 1, I'm off Harmony's 1 bandwagon. I did not like what I heard about how they treated their dApp makers. Didn't like that. Didn't like the hack. Didn't like the solution to the hack. So, and you know, someone recently said, well, you're missing out because they're climbing up. They could climb up. There's still a lot of one holders, right? But after listening to how, you know, they treated their biggest dApps and wallet makers when things were rough, you know, that kind of shows you they were not prepared at all, and they didn't go through with their promise, which really sucks. I mean, think about it. The biggest DEX, the biggest game for Harmony, DeFi Kingdoms, was driven out of Harmony. When that happens, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. That's the equivalent of like Ethereum driving out, I don't know, Uniswap. Probably equivalent of that, right? When that happens, it's not a good look. And especially, it's not driven out due to slow transactions or congested network. It's due to being lied to by Harmony. That's pretty bad. Flux. It's funny. Someone from the team just invited me to whatever conference they have in Fort Lauderdale later this year. I may go to that. I may not. I don't know. There's very little details about it. Your thoughts on loading up on Gala before the airdrop? You know what, Billy? You know what really pissed me off yesterday? I have a few guys that's helping me make introductions to a lot of projects. You know, for the most part, I like to talk to early stage projects, but I love to talk to industry leaders too. I'm a big fan of Gala. I've always been, right? So I was introduced to like 3 guys in Gala. And immediately, their only mission was, hey, why don't you go do an interview with our president? Hey, can I get him on to your show to do an interview? Hey, let's do an interview. It's like the only purpose to talking was they wanted me to basically shield them. I was just looking for an introduction to just chat, talk about their new initiatives, get to know them. Maybe I can help them out. But the guys I was introduced to were like all like, hey, shill us as much as possible. Maybe that's their job. Maybe I was introduced to the wrong people. But that really pissed me off. So I'm like, okay, no thanks. This is not the point of the introduction. So that kind of really irritated me. But outside of that, I'm still a big believer in Gala. Love to maybe talk to the right people within the team rather than their marketing people. The whole point of crypto is for people to move away from fiat. People are buying and selling crypto. It's like the stock market securities. You hold or not sell. Arvin, you get it, but not everyone else, right? It's okay. People will get it eventually. As they see Bitcoin go higher and higher and higher, the ones that benefit the most are the ones that are not trading and simply holding. That's how you win, right? But not everyone can get there at the same time. If everyone got there at the same time, Bitcoin will be like $10 million already, okay? So just think of it as a gift. We have volatility. There's bad FUD sometimes. There's macro stuff that drives it down. But the best way to think about it is a golden opportunity to load up more while it's still cheap. Best way to think about it. Mark Cooper Art. Who did you talk to in Gala? Maybe we talked to the same people. I don't know. Maybe it's just the wrong people at the wrong positions, or we both talk to the wrong people. When is the next house video? I have to think about something creative to talk about. My last few pretty controversial, but did pretty well. So I got to think about something else. Also, I have another car video coming up this week. Probably Sunday. M2. Fantastic car. Too bad it was not stick shift, but still. The M2 is a marvelous car. it's much better, I would say, because of the price and what you're getting, way better buy than an M4, which costs $20,000 more. It makes no sense to buy M4 because the M2 is that good. Just throwing that out there. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall, today, market, again, in the red. More fears about more rate hikes, deeper recession, right? Inflation skyrocketing, right? But that's why we turn to Bitcoin. You want to hold assets. You don't want to hold cash. Well, you want to hold some cash to be able to DCA, yes, but you don't want to hold all cash because that's when your buying power gets cut tremendously over the years, right? You want to hold assets. You want to hold assets that can appreciate over time, appreciate faster than inflation, and that's how you win. So stay with Bitcoin, my friends. Better days are coming. And have a good Friday. Like I said, tonight, debut a new person on the channel, and you guys let me know how he is. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.